Hi, I'm Peter Kalmstrom of kalmstrom.com Business Solutions. In this demonstration I'll show you all the 4 different variants of drop-downs that SharePoint 2010 supports. I'm going to show you based on the task list here. This task list is rather okay for, managing your tasks. There's one big thing here that I don't like though, it's the predecessors. Most people don't use them and they take up a lot of space. So I'm going to start by removing that one, so we have some more space to work on here. It is one of the types of drop-downs actually, and it's a drop-down that points back to itself, so that's somewhat interesting, but this makes it for a not much nicer form, and most people, as I said, don't use a predecessor thing for tasks anyway, so this is a nicer form. So this form, for example, doesn't have a drop-down for which kind of task is this. So I'm going to add one of those. As I said, there are 4 different types of drop-downs that you can use. So I'm going to show you all 4 of them. First, I'm going to show you the choice one. So I'm going to show task category. I'm going to call it that, and then I'm going to do the choice one. And it's very, very simple. You can just enter your choices here. Hardware, software, and users. Those are the 3 kind of issues we're dealing with, I guess. So I'm just going to click OK there, and of course that works. You'll immediately see one problem here. Actually, now I did write them in alphabetical order, but if I hadn't, SharePoint wouldn't have put them in alphabetical order. But if I decide that I want to have another one, then I have to go into list settings and find the actual field here, the task category, and then add the choice on a separate line in the correct order, and that's rather tricky. So what I'm actually going to do is do another type of field here, and that is the column type lookup. Information already on this site, but of course I need to have it actually on a site. So what I'm going to do there is create a new list instead, and I do that by going into site actions, more options, and creating a custom list. There it is, custom list, and I'm just going to call that task categories. And then I'm going to add the items here, hardware, save, and another one, software, etc. And I can actually go into datasheet view, and this is easier then, and have the users there. And now when I go into my tasks, I can create a column here with a lookup, and go into lookup there, and then I can select which list it should get the categories from, and which field. It should be the title field, and if I actually should project any other fields. And I don't have any others that I care about now. One thing that's new in SharePoint 2010 that didn't work before was this enforce relationship behavior. What happens if I remove one of the items in this list, the task categories? Should the tasks actually be deleted, then you would have cascade delete. Or do you want to restrict delete, so you can't remove the task categories that have tasks attached to them? That makes more sense, right? So I'm going to do that, and it must be indexed, and that's fine. There we go. Now when I add a new item, you see I get the same kind of drop down there, and that's fine. And one of the benefits of this is that I can add a new item in this list, and let's say we have our documentation. There we go, and I'll save that, and you can of course delegate the responsibility of adding new task categories. Somebody else also, somebody that doesn't know how to modify list settings, etc. So now I can go in there, and as you see, they come in the correct alphabetical order. Alright, that's beautiful. Now, I'm not really happy with that one either. That has some benefits, but I'm going to delete that one too and show you the third one, task category. I'm going to remove that one now, delete. And then I'm going to create another one here. And I'm going to create a column. And now I'm going to use the manage metadata, and I'm going to call that again task category, and I'm going to go down here and use not a managed term set. A managed term set would be something that an administrator has already defined for you, but I'm actually going to customize my term set. And then I'm going to add new terms on this. And I'm going to add the same ones. Users, software, etc. One of the benefits of this now is that I can actually create subterms here too. So I'll have printers, and I will have mice, for example. And on the users, of course, there might be some new passwords, etc. And I can actually edit this using something called the term set manager. And here I can go in and say that some of my users actually want to write not just printers, but they want to add other labels like plotters, for example, or line writers or something other. Synonyms anyhow. So there we go. Go in and save that. And of course I can add more here, and new mailbox or something. Okay, so I create this whole hierarchy of terms. I'm just going to go back to my 4 drop-downs demo here and go into tasks, and now create a new item. And there you see I have my task category, and that's connected to this choice thing here. And the beauty of this now is if I simply type P, I get an autocomplete there. And I can just click one of those, and that says printers. I can also go into this and get a dialog that's there where I see the whole hierarchy here. And since I made this an open term set, which is I can allow additions, I can actually go ahead and add word problems, for example, in here, and I can select that one there, and there we go. And of course I must specify a value. So alright, so that's the third kind of drop down. The fourth one is a bit more involved. It requires you to go into SharePoint Designer and create an external content type. So I'm going to do that, and I'll create a column here, and this is where I'm going external data. But that's the end goal. Now we're going to do a drop down that connects to external data. So what I'm going to start by doing is creating a new SQL database, SQL Server Management Studio. There we go. I'm connecting to the local database here, and I'll just go ahead and create a new database, and I'll call that general lists. I'm just going to create that one. Okay, there we go, general lists. And then I'm going to go in and create a table here, new table. Column name is task category, and that's going to be a string. It can be somewhat longer than that. 50 characters should be enough, and I don't want to allow nulls there. Okay, so I'm going to save that one now. File, save, table 1, and that's going to be task categories. Alright, beautiful. And now I'm going to go ahead and actually open that table. There we go. Edit top 200 rows, that will be fine. So I'm just going to do one, hardware, software, users. Then I'm going to actually create an external content type for this, and I'm going to do that by going, actually don't need SQL Server Management Studio anymore. Usually you would of course set some permissions and stuff like that on this, but I'm going to go into SharePoint Designer now and go into the external content types, and it's retrieving all the ones that are installed on my farm, which should be rather few. Well, actually exactly 0. So I'm going to create a new external content type and call that task categories, and that just is going to connect to a generic list, and I don't want people to offline sync this. So then I'm going to go and discover external data sources, add a connection. It's going to be an SQL Server connection in this case, and the database server is the local one, and the database name was, or general list, that was it. And now I should see my general lists, and the table I have there is task categories. Beautiful. And it has the one column. So I'm going to right click on this table here and create all operations. And I'm just going to go next through this and map to identifier, and that's enough. I don't really have to do anything more. And that's fine. It doesn't have to map to any office property. I'm not going to use it like that. So, and I don't need a filter, it's just 3 of them, so that's fine. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and save this, task categories. And for managed, for external content types, I actually need to go into central admin and give permissions that this should be used. So I'm going to go into manage service applications and find the business data connectivity service and actually give permissions on this object here. And by default nobody has permissions, so I'm gonna just select administrator and add permissions, and I'm gonna give myself the whole bunch of permissions there. Right, now I can go back to my site. There we go, all my tasks there. And I'm going to create a column with the external data type, and again task category external data, and I'm going to show still external content type, and I don't remember what I called it, so I'm just going to go into the list of external task categories. That's fine. Alright, aha, I already used that. I didn't remove the previous one. Call that external task category, and there we go. And I'm going to select the field. There's only one field there, so I'm going to click OK there. Alright, so external task category, and let's go in and remove the previous one there, the one that I'm not using anymore, task category. Let's remove that one, delete, there we go. So now I'm back to scratch again and can create a new item, and that's going to pick it up from the external cat task list. And there I have my list, 3 matches, there we go. And that one worked too. So that concludes my demo. You've seen 4 different kinds of drop downs. Thank you for watching this demonstration.